today it's just me, and I'm going to show you how to put together a flower arrangement with a dozen red roses, which would make a great Valentine's gift. You just go to the grocery store, get you some roses, and put them together. Come back after this intro and I'll show you how.
We're living it up, we're gonna make it through. We can see the light, just me and you. We're living it up, we're gonna make it through. We're together for good, just me and you. We're living it up.
Hey, I'm in a grocery store. Valentine's Day is coming up. You know how I love flowers. I'm going to show you how to put together a flower arrangement. I wanted to do some roses. I'm not sure I'm going to do that because looking around what the store has, now I'm going to decide what I want. I'm a softie for lilies. I love the lilies, especially the stargazer lilies. These are more stargazer lilies right here. You can tell by looking at them. They smell wonderful. I'm not for sure I want that one in particular. For some reason I really am looking at this one, and I want to show you why. Because they're all opened about at the same stage. So I'm going to choose this one. And then I'm going to, there's no greenery here. I like to make a flower arrangement with some greenery. So we're going to go over here and choose, I'm going to go ahead and get some roses. I love this color right here. I love this color for some strange reason. But for Valentine's Day, everyone wants red roses. I'm going to be different. I'm going to take this rose color right here. I call it a pale pink. Some people call it a champagne color. And I'm going to mix these two up. And then I want to add one more thing because of the fact, you said these were how much, Carl? 3 for $10? Let's look at the price tag.
3 for 12.
3 for 12. These, I think, we can't find price tags on anything. But anyway, I think these are $16 for these roses. 3 for 12. Let's look over here. So I want to add just a little bit more filler with my flowers. And so I'm gonna choose something. It's really hard. Everybody wants to put in some baby's breath. I want some good stems. Okay, they're stuck together, so one-handed. I gotta do this. I think I'm gonna choose the baby's breath, and if I'm going 3 for 12 down here, 3 for 12, and then I'm going to choose one more color, and I want this to pop more. I'm really into, wow. Sorry, I can't make up my mind. I want them all. You know me and flowers. I love flowers. Okay. The pom-poms. I like the color. I like the brightness and the deep color of the daisy pom-pom mums. So this is what I'm going to get, and when I get home, I'll make an arrangement for you. Hey! So I went back to Publix today because last night I couldn't find a vase. And I usually go to the Goodwill or to a thrift store and find vases. And I was too late to go find a vase because you can find some really nice vases. I like the larger vases. I like the vases that are bigger at the top. They come in and then go out. That way when I stick the flowers in at an angle, it's going to hold them tighter here in the middle, but let them flare out around and then get into more water in the bottom. But I went to Walmart today and found this vase. It was just under $4, and it's heavy. It's a nice heavy vase. This was not the vase I was looking for, but it's the one I've got to use to make an arrangement with. it's flared at the top, and I'll still be able to put the stems in at an angle. And then I also was able to find, they had greenery. So I found the greenery I wanted to use, so I've got some greenery. To help me, I cannot remember this greenery's name, but I think it's called Pit for short. Just the solid green. They have variegated also Pit. And so we're going to use this. That always helps when making an arrangement. Then I got the roses. They had a dozen red roses. They've been out of water for a while, so I wanted to show you how I go about getting them into water and preparing them to soak up more water. And then I was able to get some baby's breath. So got baby's breath, roses, and greenery. Let me show you what I do to get them in some water. Traveling in an RV, I don't always have what I need right on hand. So this was a bucket we got somewhere. It'll be great to help the flowers soak up some water. So these were 3 for $12. I only bought 2. I didn't get 3 because I didn't need another one. And then I'm just going to split it open, cut the rubber band off the bottom, and the baby's breath has this little fresh food powder. They have it in liquid now, but powder is what you get at the grocery store. So I'm going to put it down here. Turn a little bit of warm water on to let it dissolve. And then get my water in here. Snips, floral snips. Open my trash can right here. And just get a nice fresh cut so it'll soak up some water. Just kind of cut it at an angle. Baby's breath has nice long, so I'm just going to do like this. I'm not going to need those long stems. And I've got some more food. I'm going to save this food for the vase. These look like the Freedom roses. This firm means it's a good rose. So when picking out a rose, feel of the bottom of it. If it's nice and firm, that's a good rose. And then usually there's a chemical that I love to use. You stick it in there and it opens up the stem, and that allows the water to go in, but I don't have any of that. So I'm just going to give it a fresh cut and hope that it'll soak up water pretty good. I love having that chemical. These have thorns. Whew. There are some thorns on here. So I'm going to turn it off for a little bit and let these soak up some waters. And then I will be back and we will put together an arrangement together. We'll have, oh no, there's a stem and no rose. Did I get cut short of rows? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I got shorted 2 roses. So maybe the new dozen is 10 or 11. Oh well, we're going to do the best we can to show you how to put together a vase of 1 dozen roses. Okay, so while those are soaking up some water, I've got some more fresh flower food. And I'm going to put it in my vase that I got. Wish you could feel how heavy this is. I think you just heard when I was sitting it on the counter. Tools you'll need: scissors, always need scissors. Snips are really good to have. And then a knife, a good floral knife. So I want this to dissolve a little bit. Scissors can be used for a lot of things. Stirring too. I think it's dissolved pretty good. Some more cold water. Floral knife here. Alright, I'm going to design down here. I think you can see just a little bit better. I'll move the flowers this way. This is a little different. Okay. These have 3 different layers. So there's some greens here, and a long stem, and then some more. Can you see that? So I'm going to cut at the top here. And cut at the top of this one. I don't want to lose any of my greens because I like them a lot. Shorter than what I want. And when you're making an arrangement, you do not want your greens in the water. Keep your greens out of the water. So I'm going to just put them right here like this, at an angle if I can. And as you get more in here, you'll get more angles. That is pretty fresh cuts. Okay. And if you want to, you can use the greens to help hold each other up. Wanted longer stems. Okay. Try some more. I'm going to leave this one alone. Thinking. Once the rose stems get in here, it'll help. Always kind of crisscross them so they'll help hold each other up. I'm going to use the rest of this in a little bit. So let's start. Here's the roses. There are loads and loads and loads of thorns. See if I can't get the thorns to go onto here. I'm not used to working and showing you at the same time what I'm doing. But you can go get you some roses at the grocery store. I spent $21.50. I didn't want to step on that thorn because I am barefooted. But I spent $21.50 and got supposedly a dozen roses, but they're not a dozen. This petal is damaged. They're called the protective petals. So I'm just going to take it off. If you want something a little romantic, keep the petals. They're not that pretty for whatever decorations you want to do. And then when designing, I like to keep at least a 1 to 1.5 height of the vase. These are short roses. These are probably only 40 centimeter roses. So I'm not going to get the tallness that I wanted. Maybe one of these will be taller. I like this for the middle because it's nice and straight. Get the thorns off. And then give it a little fresh cut. Not too much off the bottom. And take off the protective petal. Gives you a nice clean look. And I want to use it at the top. This one I'm going to cut just a little bit shorter because I'm going to put it at an angle like this. So they're not going to stay exactly where I want them right now, but as I'm working, they will eventually crisscross and hold each other into place. So I'm going to start with this one now. This one's thorns. Judge on the length of the rose. About right here. Cut that off. Look for the protective petals. Usually a couple's all you need to take off. And I want it down just a little bit more. I like to make my roses round and round, so that's what I'm showing you. So this is the start right here, and now I'm going to put 2 right here. Put it at an angle, crisscross them. Eventually I'll have enough crisscross that I can make this one in the middle stand up higher. But because they're such short roses, and I wanted at least 1 vase high, I didn't even get that with these roses. That's a reason at a grocery store, when you go to buy flowers, the roses, and they're so much less expensive than at the flower shops, they're usually the really short roses. So when you go and buy them at a flower shop, you're getting roses that have the longer stems. Some people don't care about that. Personally, I like the long stems. Okay, so right there's my start. Then we're going to get one here, 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 and here. These stems are crooked. Look at that. So that's kind of nice because of the fact what you have is it already have it leaning the way you want it to lean, and so that'll make it look prettier. Sometimes it's hard to make a flower go the direction you want it to go. And this little rose stem has a bunch of little itty bitty thorns. The others don't have that much. Take off a few rose petals. All right. So this rose had loads and loads and loads of thorns, little itty bitty ones. And that's why sometimes it's good to use the knife. You can just go like this and kind of scrape them off. And because you don't want to give roses with thorns in them. Some people like to take the roses and rearrange them and keep fresh water and cut the stems. So that one just kind of fits perfect right there. I do want it just a fraction lower, so I'm just going to cut off a little bit more. That way you'll have your tier. And I may cut it off a little. Nope, I like it. Alright, turn it around. Here's another crooked rose. And this one has some big thorns. I'm going to have to be sure and clean the floor because we don't want to step on these thorns that I'm throwing. Okay, we'll see what kind of length I want this one to be. About right here. See what having the greenery helps? I like that. I think that's a nice height. I just want it just a little bit lower. Sometimes when cutting the stems on your roses, and there's the, I can't remember the real term, what it's called, but there's a little bit right here, and you want to cut just above it, or just below it if you can, so it'll soak up water better. Perfect. Isn't that looking good? So I want one more here and one more here. There's another rose that's just a little crooked, and it has some really ugly petals. Damaged. I'll just call them damaged. So we had to take off 3 off of that one. Look at those thorns. Can you see the thorns? See if I can get some of these thorns off. Usually when I'm working at a flower shop or staying really busy this time of year, I have an apron on and I stick it right here, and just because I'm working fast. When you're in a flower shop, you got to work fast, and I'm probably the only person who's crazy with a knife like this. And have I cut myself before? Yes, I have. One time my mama handed me a knife and said, it's brand new, it's very sharp, be careful. I touched it and used it and cut myself immediately. So I knew what she said. Who knows why? Old habits are hard to break. Did some of you know that I was raised in a flower shop? And some of you don't. My mom and dad had a flower shop in Fort Worth, Texas, a little suburb called Haltom City. So, good. See, as I'm putting more roses in here, these are standing up more and crisscrossing. I do miss working in a flower shop a whole lot. Last year, when I was in Texas, Flowers by Sophia in Liberty Hill, and had a sign up, said part-time help, holiday help. So I went in and said, I think I would like to work for you if you need the help for the holiday. And she said, show up to work Monday. And I worked all through the Valentine holiday last year. Carl was still in Colorado Springs working, and see, there's the knot in the stem right there. I'm going to cut it right there. So I thoroughly enjoyed having a little holiday part-time job working at the flower shop there. Okay, see, every time you stick a flower in, everything goes wonky. I like it pretty much. That looks great. It works down from the top and works its way down. I have 1 more rose. I should have 3 more roses, and I would have put it here, here, and here, which would be just perfect because it needs 1 rose here, here, and here. That would have been my dozen roses. Can't believe I didn't count. So be sure and count your roses before you buy them. Maybe it's the new way grocery stores are making more money. It didn't say a dozen roses, and I just assume it was a dozen. It looked like plenty, and that's how you get away with the less price, is because it's not a dozen roses. I think I want it right here. And you see, I cut it just a little bit shorter, so we have that tier. I want this one to stand up about right here. So what I'm going to do, I have a little more greenery. I don't like to do this, but I'm going to rip these off because I want this to stand up higher. And cut it off about right here. And see if I can't get it to help this. No, I need to cut it off just a little bit more. You don't want your greenery to outstick your flowers, to go beyond the flowers. So it's gonna stay up a little bit. Alright, I'm gonna play with it a little bit and get it to where I want it. I'm liking that. And then a little more greenery. And then we're going to do the baby's breath. Look, I got a little extra one right here. So I'm going to cut it right here so I have a little more longer stem. Right here. And then I'll take these off. So I have this little extra stem here. And I'm going to put it on this side so I can get that taller length. Cut it about right there. It's better if you can keep your greenery out of the water. Keeps your water fresher from mildewing. Okay. I wished I had a dozen roses. Bummer. I do like this side better. I'm going to take this down just a little bit more. All right. There we go. So you have more of your tier. One up like that. I need a rose here. I need a rose here and here. Anyway, now I've got baby's breath. So we're going to stick some baby's breath in there and get some nice filler. Okay. A little tall. Don't want it quite that tall. Once again, don't let your filler go higher than your flowers. I broke that one. Bummer. I'm going to set that aside. Play with it later. Baby's breath is stuck together. Turn it upside down and try to be careful. Now I got two with nice stems. I've already got some nice tall ones. I'm going to put these down here lower. Sometime I'll do a video on all the chemicals that you can buy and use when making an arrangement. And they'll help your flowers last longer. Calculate your stems so that you don't cut them where you have a bunch of short ones, but where you have the flowers that have stems enough to go down in the water that you don't have to worry about it not getting into the water and surviving. You keep wanting that one to stay, and he keeps falling. Put a couple more little baby's breath in. Like this one. It's got some broken limbs. It's all broken. A little bit right here. Here. So I went to the grocery store. I spent $21.50 for, we're going to call it a dozen roses. For a dozen roses. Let's say 10, but I got 10. And I'm a perfectionist, so I pick at something all the time until I keep just working at it. And I just have to say, let it go. I don't like the way that sticks out, so I'm going to cut it off down far enough where the stem is, so I can use it in something else. I don't like the way that's sticking up either. Too picky. There we go. Wrapped it around the stem. And we've got a nice little rose arrangement. I hope y'all enjoyed watching me make this. So I went to the grocery store, spent $21.50, went to Walmart and got this beautiful heavy-duty vase and put together a beautiful rose arrangement. I want to say a dozen roses because that was my intent, but there's only 10 roses in here. A little tidbit: if you got some water in a spray bottle, and you can kind of spray it. There are so many chemicals that you can buy. Crown and Glory, spray the roses with Crown and Glory, and it seals the moisture in the flower petals, helps the roses to last longer. And someday I'll do another arrangement and talk to you about all the chemicals. For right now, happy Valentine's Day, and hope you get to enjoy some fresh flowers for Valentine's Day. Hey, I'm through sharing now. Hope you enjoyed it. You can always do it your own way, but this is the way I do it. Give me some comments and let me know how yours turned out. Bye.
We're living it up.